May I have your attention, please?
I think this is a good idea.
Dreams without goals.
People are getting fed up with corporate America.
I want you to get up, stand up, fight back.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Don't call it a comeback.
Lakeland, Sarasota, Tampa, everybody in between, what is going on? Welcome to Operation Co-op. My name is Jeremy Griffin, and I've got my boy Tyler with me, my boy Wes, and my boy Danny. We are broadcasting live from the WMNF studios in Tampa, Florida. This segment is brought to you by us. This is a pilot show. We've never done this before. We don't have anybody to underwrite it yet, but we're hoping to change that in the near future. If you want to join in the fun today, the phone number here is 813-239-9663. Again, that number is 813-239-9663. All right, so let's get going with this. Basically, what we're trying to do here is make a show about organizing, about how to put things together, how to communicate, how to get attention for what it is you want to do, whether you're an activist, you're an organizer, you're an entrepreneur. Basically, try to bring people together, stir ideas, anything along those lines. So, let's see here. In case anybody wants to hit us up and get in on here, if you got some kind of an idea, you want some advice, feel free to call in and give us a shout, or you can email us at news@wmnf.org. If you're on your computer, hopefully we're going to try to do this. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off or not, but we're hoping that we can maybe do the live broadcast on the Facebook page, and we want to talk a little bit about Facebook Live later on as it is. So, All right, so let's see here. Again, that phone number is 813-239-9663. That being said, America, I think that we have a problem right now, in that we talk a lot about community and we have to fix this, we've got to fix that, we have to do this, we have to do that. But I want to know how many people that are listening right now are telling themselves, I'm going to fix that, right? So that's what we want to do, is we want to get people inspired so that you actually take the leap yourself and you do something. Maybe there's some kind of a cause, or there's something else that you are passionate about, and basically, instead of saying, yeah, we've got to do that, or how about this? Instead of saying, well, I'm going to go find a group to get involved in this, I'm going to start the group. I'm going to be the person that steps up, and I'm going to be the one that fixes that. So with that being said, we want to kind of get into this show. If you got something that you're thankful for this year, we want to hear about it. There's a lot of negativity in the news. If you've got something that, as the year has gone on, you say, man, I'm really glad that I figured that out, or I'm really glad that I did this, or whatever it is, we want to hear about it. Because at the end of the day, it is all about people coming together, people making stuff happen, and yeah. How are we doing, guys?
We're doing good. It's about connection, man. The world is totally disconnected. We have all this machinery. We have all these, we have computers. We have all sorts of things. We're totally connected, but emotionally we're disconnected as a society. So I think it's a great premise you got going on here. I think it's a great idea that you would bring to the forefront how people can get connected in communities and do things and make things happen. Okay, and a lot of that happens. There's all sorts of things. There's meetup groups. There's all sorts of ways, from spirituality to singles groups, anything you want to do. But there's
I agree,
always
100%.
There's always an idea. There's always a way, and there's always opportunity. So I think that's one of the cool things that we're talking about is opportunities.
Cool.
There's opportunities around every single corner. No matter what doors close, there's always another door to open. So you never know. I mean, and I'll tell you a little story about Jeremy and I, how we got to meet. I moved here to Tampa a year ago, and I really didn't know anybody. I had a partner. We were starting an import-exporting company, and I saw on Craigslist for social media and marketing. So I sent an email to Jeremy. He showed up in my office. We looked at each other. He smiled. I got up and I gave him a hug. And my partner looked at me and I go, "Hey, do you want some of this?" And my partner didn't know what to do. It was really funny. And Jeremy and we just had a connection. It's just, that's how life is, and that's the beauty of life. If you have a connection, you have it. So that's really cool. So we've been friends ever since, and we've been doing some projects together. And Jeremy is really, he's great at showing people how to get their message across, how to convey it, how to do it. He thinks outside the box. And there's so many people like, one of them was Mac's partner. He couldn't think outside the box. He couldn't think of new ideas. It was traditional. He was afraid to do things, He was afraid to just put it out there to let it happen. So, I mean, it really is about just letting yourself out and just letting it go. And, that's what it's all about.
Well, I think that what you just said with how it is that all that happened is that was the first thing that I wanted to say, was that the environment that we're living in right now, there's so much negativity and stuff that's going on with, the political scene, the economic scene. People are very frustrated, everybody's stressed, but we're in an environment right now where the communication is so wide open that, and you have so many free tools at your disposal. If you make baskets, you now can sell them nationally.
Exactly. And
you can do things. If you have a cause that you're looking for support, you can market yourself nationally and get people's attention. You can tag along with a simple hashtag and get everybody's attention. And it's really truly an incredible environment for people that want to get out there, that really want to make stuff happen. So,
one of the things that's really cool that you mentioned that is there's this girl called the DC Toy Collector that made almost $5 million on YouTube 2 years ago. And she goes into Disney stores, buys Disney toys. You never see her face. You just see her hand. She has a squeaky little voice, and she tells people about what's inside the packaging so moms can see what they're buying their kids ahead of time. Well, she gets millions and millions of hits. So that's just like a little example of how you can come from nothing,
it's incredible,
overnight and become an international sensation. You can start from zero to hero within 6 months. It's amazing. And that's kind of the interesting thing about today's world, how fast you can be recognized and known. And there's more opportunity now than ever. People think that there is an opportunity. There's opportunity around every single corner. You just got to step outside the box and you just got to let it happen.
Okay. Yeah, Tyler, why don't you read us that email real quick?
Yeah,
it just popped in.
We got an email from David Bryant. It says, congrats on the new show. You hear so much about social media, but what's your take on anti-social media, like Breitbart News? Steve Bannon is sketchy and has no business in the White House.
Just slightly political there on that one, right?
I thought we were going to talk about political.
No, we're not.
Religion today.
We're not getting into any of those things. Exactly. But I will say, as far as anti-social media, I guess, David, what you're probably talking about is the fact that people can push any kind of message out there now and have a very large audience. And what does that mean? And honestly, I don't really think that is a positive or a negative. It's a positive for you if you want to get your stuff out. But as far as the overall environment goes, it's kind of just, it's always been there. And if everybody has a microphone, is it any different than it used to be, where only your immediate inner circle had that microphone, right? So you're basically just taking what was always there, and now everybody has a microphone. But the squeaky wheel gets the oil type thing is definitely applies a little bit more now probably than before. So.
It's not about that anymore, okay? Washington is a mess, okay? They've made the country a mess. So what I want to say about that, I'm giving the high sign to not say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I don't care. So this is what it's really all about. We've created a total mess in Washington, okay? This is about people coming together. This is not about arguing. This is not anymore about arguing about who said what or who did what, On one hand, one of the good things is Trump is an action guy, okay? So hopefully he'll make that happen. He'll make things happen, okay? So that's what I mean. It's about both sides coming together. Stop arguing, stop fighting, and get things done. Change the stuff that's going on around us.
Don't hold your breath on that one there, Danny, but...
Can I come out of my timeout now?
Okay, so I think, and the other thing that people are talking about right now with social media too is a lot of people have said that it's kind of turned into everybody's own personal echo chamber, right? Where everybody is the amount of people that I saw during this past election that were like, if you support A or you support B, unfriend me immediately. I was like, really? We can't talk if we just, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry I did that to you. I'll put you back on today.
It's absolutely incredible. But there is definitely something going on there with that, in that people now get to choose kind of what kind of news that they want to get. And they're getting overload on what it is that they want. And then they only catch snippets on what it is that they don't want. And it is...
First of all, if you want to change your life immediately, stop watching the news.
Yeah, I can agree with that
Because
one.
there's nothing but negativity. If you really want a positive outlook on life, create your own positive outlook. Go to bed without watching the news. If you need to be informed, somebody will tell you what you need to be informed about.
Yeah, I can agree with that to a certain extent. Should we what do you guys think? Should we take some callers? All right, let's get it going. Let's go with Brother Nero is on the phone.
Brother Nero, bring it on.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
We're good.
Yeah, excellent. Listen, welcome aboard to the WMNF family. It's a glorious, glorious place.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for listening.
I had a premonition that the new show would appear and something would be deleted. So you gentlemen are in for success.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just going to... this is political, but it's not. It's not, this guy is... Trump is bad, this is good, or anything like that. But would you mention something before? And may you all have a blessed Thanksgiving. I'm preparing the green beans right now, actually, for my feast tomorrow. So
Yeah, it sounds like you're preparing us for what kind of question you're going to throw our way.
I was say that I have a friend of mine who's, I believe his cousin is not coming tomorrow because the parents voted for Trump, and that's it. They
Well, this is what I would suggest that you do. Seriously, leave his meal outside on the doorstep with a little note. Tell him you love him and you hope he has a beautiful day. That'd be nice.
I like the way you think. Love. Pete, where are you from? Brooklyn? Boston?
Boston.
I know you're not from here.
From Boston.
Oh, I knew it.
And I love your Florida accent, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I love your Floridian accent, by the way.
Thank you. I'm
Brother Nero.
You see me at Cafe Hay sometime.
Brother Nero, how many other people do you think are going to be... Thanksgiving dinner is notorious after elections for just being an absolute nightmare for a lot of families. How many do you think are going through this, what you're going through right now?
I myself am not going through it personally, but it's a friend of mine. But I'm
friend of yours.
It's a fair amount. I mean, we live in such a society, like you said, where it has to be an echo chamber. And I mean, this is just crazy now. Your opinion is my opinion is the only way, and we do not take dissent. And unfortunately, there are too many people like this. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, those people should be deleted, in my opinion.
You know something, Brother Nero? Seriously, there's a lot of stuff going on, but there's a movement in this country that's really beautiful. People are coming together. People are looking for answers. People are joining meetups. People are doing a lot more spirituality on themselves. They're looking for answers because they realize, with all the stuff going on, that's not the answer. They're trying to find happiness in themselves, and they understand that when they change the things they look at, the things they look at change, and that's really what's happening. There's a lot of really good stuff. So we hear from the media all the bad stuff, but behind the scenes, there's definitely a change in the atmosphere of what's going on in the world. I mean, people are moving towards, they want to be happier, they want to be more fulfilled, okay, and they realize, and for me it took a long time, but I realized a couple years ago, the only thing in life you can change is yourself, man. That's it. You can't change anybody else. You can't change anyone's feelings. You can't change the way they feel about you. You can only change yourself. So, like the song says, be the change or we are the change, and that's what it's all about.
Brother Nero, we appreciate it, man.
No,
brother, you take care.
You wanted to ask us something. What was the question you wanted to ask us?
That's. I wanted to ask you about that. About the Trump thing. If you knew anyone that was not coming to Thanksgiving and not finding on delicacies like my green beans because of mom voted for Trump.
I want to try these green beans.
Well, actually, it's a good thing that Trump's not eating it, because tomorrow he'd be firing the turkey instead of pardoning it. So that would be a problem.
Very true. Good day, my brother. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Thanks, my man.
You
Thanks,
too,
my
man. Take care.
Who do we got next up there? Let's go with Howard in Clearwater. Is he still on?
How you guys doing?
I'm good, Howard. What's going on?
Yeah, thanks for the new show. Sounds like you're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, we're gonna try at least. What do you got on your mind?
Yeah, I was thinking about a food service operation, sort of a restaurant, but more than just a restaurant where you can have owned by employees, but something like that where people could make certainly a living wage instead of a minimum wage or better. How do you get, or do you have any ideas on how to get some financing to start something like that? And how do you then convince investors who typically would give you cash and not work for your company? How do you convince them that the workers' earnings take priority over payments on finance?
Okay, so when you're putting stuff like that together, one thing that always has to be solid is your business plan's got to be solid, right? And your 3-year projections for finances and expenses and all that has to be really solid. There's no way of getting around that. 3-5 years, whatever they're looking for, right? Okay. After that, honestly, with as far as investors go, they really just have to say, I want to work with this guy. That's really what it comes down to, right? It's really no different than a job interview in that everybody that's applying basically has the same skill set. It's just the person that's doing the hiring is saying, who do I see myself vibing the best with? Maybe they're looking for somebody that complements. Maybe they're, maybe they're, what is this supposed to be, Tyler? Maybe they're looking for somebody that complements them. Maybe they're looking for somebody that's real high. Who knows? But it really comes down to, do they see you working with, can they see themselves working with you? As far as the financing goes, if you've got a group of people together and you want to start something like that, you've got to figure out, once you figure out how much it's going to cost to open up the thing, you've got different avenues you can go down. Start going out and figuring out what the different associations are in town that all these types of people that would be interested in the food industry, there's probably some kind of a restaurant association or something like that. Somebody might be looking for something like that. And, something else that people that are looking for at least, a little bit of money always overlook still is crowdfunding it. And if you have some stuff that you can give back to people for funding you, because here's the thing, keep in mind, everybody always says, well, I don't understand why anybody would why would anybody just give me money for this? But here's the thing with crowdfunding is they're not just giving you money for it. They're giving you some money, and then you're saying, for your restaurant, right? Say they give you a $100 donation. You're telling them for $100, we will give you, one free family pass for a night or something. So you're giving them something back. So they get to help a little bit. So, that was something that we wanted to get into here potentially.
What's his name, Howard?
Yes, Howard.
Hey, Howard, if I had some suggestions for you, okay? Crowdfunding is a great way to go. Crowdfunding is falling off a lot. But I'll tell you what, if you have a story, especially if it's a story where you're going to put local people to work, and you have something going on where it's community-based and, something, people open their pockets and their wallets to causes like that, especially if you have a solid plan, it's well thought out, because that's what people want. People want connection more than ever. I have 2 kids. One, my boys are 23 and 22. One of them said to me about a month ago, he says, Dad, he says, even for us now, he says, we live in a virtual world. He says, it feels like it's just a fantasy land. It's not real, and it's just a virtual thing where everyone's just existing. He says, it's nice when young people sit and they talk and they get together and they do things. So if you're doing something, bring your idea and harness it around community, and that you're going to put people to work and you're going to make them a part of your dream and what you're doing. And then I think you'll get amazing results. I think crowdfunding, you could really, and find someone, most important thing, seriously, find somebody that can write your business plan. Find a professional business plan writer. I have one in Boston. He'll do your complete plan for $250, soup to nuts. He's amazing, and that's what I would do. Because if you have a plan, then it speaks volumes that you have a direction of where you're going. But with the community thing and putting people to work in making this a thing of unity and really wanting to help people, I think you're on the right track.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the heads up. I'll keep you up to speed when I move forward with that, and I might take you up on
Howard, just so you know, too, feel free, and this goes for everybody that's listening here. The whole entire reason why we're so adamant about starting this show is because we believe in community and we know the power of it, and we want to. There's definitely a resurgence right now where people are extremely turned off by corporate America. Things are actually going back to a little bit more of a decentralized landscape in a lot of ways. So, the reason why we started this is because we really want to be able to just help people. So if you want to, shoot an email over to the email, which is news@WMNF, with what it is you're talking about. And we will reply back with some really good stuff once the show is done. Give me a couple days to get to it, and that goes for everybody listening. If you've got something and you're trying to get it figured out, I promise I will respond to every single one of them. So,
yeah, can you slow down on the pronunciation of the email again?
It is news@WMNF.org.
Gotcha.
Hey, Howard, have a beautiful Thanksgiving, man. Thanks for calling in.
Likewise. Best to all you and your family. Thanks so much.
Great. Be good.
All right, cool. What do we got up next here? Let's go with Albert in Ruskin.
Good morning. I should say good afternoon, fellas. Sounds like it's going to be a great show. I really appreciate you guys taking the time and the energy. I mean, this is your time and your energy.
No energy, man. We stopped at Starbucks before you got here. We're all coffeeed up.
There you go. There you go. Hey, important point is the value. What value are you presenting to others? So you can take your show. You can take the gentleman that just called about the employee-owned restaurant. You know, what's the value you're trying to produce for the consumer? And, you know, I'm going to use those type of terms, and I don't mean them in a pejorative way. You know, what's your value? Let's say you like collecting stamps. Your market's very small, and you're trying to produce value. So you've got to really think what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and then give it your best shot.
Yep.
Value.
No, I agree 100%, Albert. What do you do?
I fix homes that weren't built properly in the first place.
Hey, Albert, there's an
I fix people's mistakes.
Albert, there's an old saying: everyone has time to do it over, but no one has time to do it right. So the other guy's coming in at the end.
This goes back to what you were talking about a little bit earlier, how we're decentralizing the artisanal movements throughout the nation. Just in the construction industry, real quick, I've been in it for 20 years. There was a time when we had people who knew exactly what they were doing, and you were considered a professional if you were building a home, and you were given the time to build it properly. But here's what happens. The guy who's in charge of your division, he's no longer a construction guy. He's a sales guy. He answers to the regional, who answers to the national director, who answers to a board of directors, who answers to the shareholders. Oh, who are the shareholders?
Yeah,
to have a meeting.
Yeah.
I get it. Red tape.
I'm not down with all that.
All
And
BS.
the thing is that they're only looking at numbers. And you know, I don't want to. Again, your show shouldn't be about politics. It should be about people cooperating. But it ends up, in many cases, for instance, in the building industry, it's about those politics. But hey, going back to what I was saying, it's the value, and I think that's why that artisanal movement's coming in. Guys like you, you're artisanal media person. You're in a specific segment of the market trying to create a greater value in your product. So, hey, listen, I'll keep on talking.
You know something, before you leave, something else I'd like to point out. I was at Home Depot this morning outside, and I had rented a Mercedes minivan for a week because I had a car accident, okay? And these two guys stopped and said to me, he says, hey, how do you like the van? I says, it's great. It's good on gas, everything. Well, it turns out they started talking, and they had just started working for Amazon. They deliver packages. So one thing led to another, and they actually want to get involved in a new thing that I'm doing. And it's just amazing how if you let people talk and approach you, or you approach people and just have a normal conversation, you never know where it's going to go. Like the relationship I have with Jeremy and Wesley is sitting here. He's a premier online marketing guy, and it's fascinating because when you talk to people, you don't know everything. And if you get involved with people and you learn to reach out and meet more people, the doors it opens is just amazing, and the friendships you create, it's great. And it's really a cool thing that you told us this in the phone call, what you do, and that it is about cooperation and networking with other people.
Correct.
And not
create value in those relationships.
And not only and the thing about networking that I've learned in the last year that I think is mind blowing. Don't be networking just to take care of your own needs. If you're networking, network so you're helping other people out, and it will come back to you 100-fold. It's not just about, because I belong to networking groups before, and it's a lot disheartening because people show up and 10% of the people do the work, and the other people are just there to hand their business cards out, and how much business can you send to me? Well, it's not about that. That's why it's called networking. It's a double-edged sword. So whatever you put out there, you'll get back tenfold. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving to you fellas, too. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, cool. Let's keep moving along, I guess. Let's go with Sharon in Zephyr Hills. Sharon, what's up?
Hey.
Sharon, you bottling water over there? I had some of that this morning. Zephyr Hills bottled water.
Well, I don't do it personally, but I live here, and so I guess I benefit from it. I got a thought.
Yeah.
That I've been thinking about for a long time as I ride around the country and look things over. And I'm just wondering, with all the homeless children in this country and families that have nowhere to go and don't have the money to even rent something, and I'm riding around and I'm looking at all these empty factories and all these empty shopping centers, all these empty buildings all over. Why doesn't someone start renovating these? They've already got water, electric, bathrooms.
You know why, Sharon? Honestly, and there's no single reason for that, except that it goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning, which is there's a lot of people wondering why we are not doing anything, and there's not enough people saying, I'm going to do something, right?
Well,
so
I wonder,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't even figure out how you would.
You know what? You know how you figure it out. Honestly, it's the same way we figure everything out. Is you just start diving in. You
Sharon.
start going in. You start making some phone calls. You'll start figuring out there's all sorts of grant things for this, and maybe you have to start small. But if you really want to do that, and you make that your focus, within 5 years you're going to have something most likely that you can point to and say, I contributed to fixing this, and you probably will inspire a ton of other people in the process.
Sharon, here's an idea for you. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I've had this idea for 15 years. Tell me what you think. Okay, we get a group of people together, and if you can help pull this off, I'm in, okay? This is what we do. We open up a mega store in one of these shopping centers you're talking about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We make it totally non-profit. Everyone gets paid decent salaries. They get whatchamacallit. Every penny goes back into the community. Okay? So how many people would, seriously, if we could pull this off and open a chain of 3,000 or 4,000 stores across the country, how many people would ever shop at Walmart and Target again when they know all that money is just going to the investors and they're making gazillions of dollars, that if we put it all back in nonprofit into the community, all the funds coming from that would go back into programs, local programs. How many people would support those stores? Everybody.
Hey, that's an idea.
It's a great idea. So,
Sharon, shoot us an email to news@wmnf.org with what it is that you're talking about. I'll fire back a couple of people that are working in that space already, and you can at least give them a hand and probably start to learn the ropes a little bit. You know what I mean? And then it's a start. It's all this stuff is a very easy fix. There just has to be the will to do it.
And Sharon, kudos to you that you're in the car and you're actually noticing and riding around, seeing what's going on in the country. Because a lot of people have blinders on and they're clueless, and they're living out of fear, and they're just trying to get their next meal or their next rent payment. And
I know.
Yeah, I think it's very cool that you came up with this, and thanks for sharing it.
I donate to your station, and I've got some literature here, and it said I can go. It says WMNF.org. Is that your email?
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I
have
appreciate
an awesome Thanksgiving. Thanks for calling in, and have a blessed day, you and your family.
Thank you, guys. Thank
All right. Cool. If anybody else is out there listening, you got something on your mind, you want to call in and say something, you want to chime in on something on somebody else has already said, maybe you know something that you can help them out, the people that have already called in. That phone number again is 813-239-9663. Again, that's 813-239-9663. All right, what should we do, guys? Go to another phone call?
I think we should talk a minute about social media, and Wesley, who's an expert on it, because he's the one that keeps telling me that people in social media, they think they know it all, but they really don't. Have a little excerpt, because there's a lot of people out there that are struggling that don't really know how to find a social media expert. They really don't know how to do it, and a lot of these people make a lot of money, but they never fulfill. They never get the person past square one. They say they know what they're doing, but they really don't.
Well, see, Danny, the key is
tell us a little
to
stuff
just
about
produce
that.
content. So many people, they want to produce the perfect video. They want to make the perfect tweet. They want to produce the perfect picture on their Facebook page. And in the meantime, they plan so much, they never do anything. The key is just to consistently produce content every single day. Just do it, just like Nike said.
Just do it.
Do it. You never know what's going to go viral.
But some of the things you were talking about with me the other day when we were having things, you said, a lot of people. So I guess, Wesley, what I wanted to ask you is the pitfalls of the people that are looking for social media to help them build their mom and pop businesses to get to the next level. They really don't know where to start. They don't have the funds to do it. So if you could just chime in and give them some ideas on the simplest and easiest way to get it going.
It's simple and easy. Huh?
No, well, you know what I mean. So
well, here, let's clear that. Let's clear that up right now. Let's clear up the confusion out there where social media is a magic pill.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got to get my social media going. Social media is nothing more than a broadcast tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
It is not It is not your movement. Your movement is your movement. Social media is just how you get the word out.
So let's get all right. Let's give them a little blueprint, an idea of how to get started, where to get started, and
produce content.
Yeah,
that's how you get started. Produce content.
But explain to them what producing content means. Give them some ideas.
For instance, give me an industry. Let's say you're a florist.
Florist, okay, florist.
Produce content about flowers. Produce content about how to care for roses, how to cut roses. I think.
So you're talking about a blog? Are you talking about podcasting? What are you talking about?
All of the above.
Okay.
Twitter, Facebook, make YouTube videos. The key is to consistently produce content that your specific niche would be interested in.
Okay, so here's an example. There's a woman that started making dresses, I think in Mississippi 3 years ago, okay? 2 or 3 years ago. So she started making dresses. People liked the dresses. They started buying them. Then she started hiring local people in her community to cut and sew and all that, okay? And then what ended up happening is she started a Facebook thing, and her Facebook thing exploded. And now she's doing almost $14 million a year in sales.
Exactly.
So
Boom.
how did she tell the listeners how she really got started to get onto Facebook and to build this network of people, how they could do it for themselves?
Well, nobody cared about her t-shirts. She went behind the scenes. And what's going on now is people want to know how something is being made. So she just didn't talk about her dresses. She talked about how she made the dresses, the employees that were making the dresses, the cotton or the yarn that she was using to make these dresses. So that's what people want to see. The thing is,
it adds a realness to it.
Exactly.
Well, the fact she put local people to work was a big plus too.
Yeah.
But how do they?
She did a podcast about that.
Here's what I'm asking: how do they set their Facebook pages up so they can generate interest and build a crowd and all that? What's the best way for them to go about that?
Google Facebook ad page. Right?
All right.
While you're logged in.
No, it's really, Wesley hit the nail on the head. It's just getting it going. And honestly, the name of the game, document.
Mm-hmm.
Document what it is you're doing, right? Like for this, right? If we were going to do that for this right here, we would be showing on whatever Facebook page is what we were talking about while we were planning this show.
Exactly.
Of making lists of how we think this show could go. And I got to say, I'm absolutely thrilled we've gotten as many callers as we have.
You told me the show's going to be unscripted. That's the only reason I agreed to get on it.
Yeah, no, it's fairly unscripted, I guess. When I'm the only one doing the scripting, yeah, I guess it's fairly unscripted.
I think we should we haven't heard from Tyler yet. Let's bring Tyler on. Tyler is a
we're gonna get back to the phone calls here. Tyler, say hi.
How's it going, guys?
All right, good to go. Everything's good, Tyler. All right, who else do we got on the phone calls here?
I love you, Tyler, man. Don't worry about it.
He's blushing.
Perfect. Let's do it. Karen in Tampa, how are we doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show. I wanted to mention that there is a co-op grocery store that's out in Oregon called Winco, and they have a chain of those that are out there. And the next question I had is, I would actually like to change. I have a coffee shop in Tampa, and I'd like to change the coffee shop to a co-op. Do you have any resources online that you could mention that you might have found that is really useful?
There's a decent amount of them. I don't want to get into too much into naming them and whatnot. If you shoot an email over to the station, we can certainly send you over about 5 to 10 different people in the area that kind of deal in that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Co-ops are great as long as everybody's on the same page. You do open yourself up to a little bit of hassle sometimes as far as who's doing what and, how much this person can't be there. Well, what are we going to do this month and all that? But that is for the coffee industry, that's a perfect thing to go to.
Yes, I've been wanting to do that for a while, so I feel like that now is the time to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, you can get the whole entire thing done before the end of the year. Start off the new year. Big announcement, whole 9 yards.
So what is your coffee shop like now?
Well, we've had some landlord issues, so right now it's temporarily closed down. We'll be reopening. We've been open for 20 years. It's sacred ground.
Now, do you serve coffee, and do you actually roast there or anything like that?
We didn't roast there, but that it's something that I would be wanting to expand into.
Well, good. If you shoot an email, I'll send you the name of somebody in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that actually roasts and puts the beans on the floor, and it drives people crazy. They love the place. It's a topic of very interesting conversation because people love to go in. They smell the coffee. They see the beans. I mean, everyone's there but Juan Valdez. I mean, it's really cool. Seriously. It's just a great conversation piece, and people are fascinated that how the roasting process takes place. So if you'd like that information, they are looking, I don't know if they're looking to open franchises or whatever, but they're very hip, and they would love to probably help you out, if that helps.
Awesome. I'll shoot you guys an email.
Yeah, of course. You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice Thanksgiving.
All right. And next up on the phone call list, we have... Perfect. Dave in St. Pete.
Hi,
What's
Dave.
going on, Dave?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're great.
I've got an idea for a challenge.
We love challenges, Dave.
Yeah. I call it the Great American Treasure in Heaven Challenge.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Dave, there's only one problem. Most of us going to hell. That's the problem.
Oh, no.
Just having fun, Dave. They said we could have fun when we came here, so I'm just having some fun. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you promise you won't hang up on me. Give me 15 seconds.
You got it.
Okay. O is the new name for God. The first thing before you get out of bed, say, "Oh, make a beautiful day." Before you say anything, if you want God to go through your mouth and brain, say O first. And I can prove O is God. The middle letter of God is O, and the middle letter of Jehovah is O, and the last digit discovered is 0, and it said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. O was invented before the name God came into being, because a language had to be invented before it could be written.
So, Dave, what's your question? Without all the
Treasure in Heaven Challenge.
Okay, so tell us what it is.
How are you going to do it? If you're going to get your reward in the next world.
I know, but what's your concept that you want to ask us about the question that you have? We're just trying to stay on a message here.
Yeah, Treasure in Heaven Challenge. How do I get the word out?
Okay, so how do you get the word out about that? You basically just, you've got to probably get your pitch down a little bit better. But I would probably just, find a couple of people that are interested into it and put your minds together and start going with it. I'll be honest with you, Dave. I don't have a whole lot of advice on that one. I'm not quite sure. So
yeah, Dave. One of the things you could do too, you could make up T-shirts for what you're doing, and you could do it on a donation basis, and try to look for people that are like-minded for your cause and what's going on.
Dave, we appreciate the phone call, though. All right, guys, we've got to get the show done and over with here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is Operation Co-op. We got Wesley, we got Danny, we got myself, we got Tyler. I want to thank Rob for letting us do this. And I want to tell everybody, if you've not followed WMNF on Facebook, please go there and do that. Hopefully, I don't know if we streamed this time, but hopefully we'll be doing it next time, assuming there's a next time. If you appreciated it, please call in and let everybody know. And thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone.
May I have your attention, please?
I think this is a good idea.
Dreams without goals.
People are getting fed up with corporate America.
I want you to get up. Stand up. Fight back.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Don't call it a comeback.
Well, that was an experimental show there called, you can hear it still going on. You've been listening to a special program called Operation Co-op. If you have thoughts about the program, you can call us up at 813-238-8001 and record your comment on extension